Hello everybody and welcome to another WEBfactory Smart Editor video tutorial. In this video we're gonna talk about working with WF indicator and its states. So let's start playing. I have my Smart Editor project open. I'm gonna go into the indicators category here and I'm gonna drag the indicator round LED on my page. So here we are with our control. Now what we're looking into in this video tutorial are the states. So we're gonna open up the states category in the property inspector and see all these state related options. It might seem a little bit too confusing right over here, but rest assured that it is not, and I'm gonna explain everything in the next minutes. So let's get started. The round LED indicator has 8 states by default. They cannot be altered, they can just be used. And I'm gonna demonstrate these 8 states and teach you how to use them in the simplest manner possible. So we have, as you can see here, we have the option BinaryMask, the condition rules, the condition signal, the mask signals, and the state signal name. So we're gonna begin from the bottom to top, and we're gonna talk about state signal name. So basically, the state signal name is the signal name that corresponds to each state. I'm gonna choose now the set.2 signal for my state 1. And I'm gonna use the same signal in all other 7 states. Of course, any signal can be placed here, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm gonna use the same set.2 signal. Now, the mask signal represents the value that the signal should have for the control to enter the first state, in our case. The mask signal 2 represents the value that the set.2 signal from the state signal name 2 should have to enter the second state. So basically all these numbers over here represent the state that the control is in that moment. If you want the control to enter the 6th state, we're gonna go into the mask signal 6 and place a value. So let's just try 6. Why not? So basically when the set.2 value will be 6, our control will be in the 6th state. So I'm gonna put values over here and let me demonstrate how everything works. I'm gonna hit run, wait for the project to build, and get back when everything is set up. Okay, we're done. So as you can see, I've moved my control to the center of the page just for the sake of this tutorial. It doesn't really matter where it's placed, but now I'm gonna bring up the test center. Well, the test center will allow us to submit any value to our signal, because the set.2 signal can be written. So when the set.2 signal has the value 0, we have no state on our control. But let's see what happens when we put the value 1. You can see our control turns green, and you can see right over here, this means the set.2 signal from the state signal name 1 has the value 1. This makes our control to go into its first state and become green. So let's start playing with values and see what happens. If we put the value 2, we'll have the second state of our control, which is red. For value 3, we'll have the third state of our control, which is yellow, and for value 4, we're gonna have blue, the 4th state of our control. Now, from the 5th state to the 8th state, our control will start blinking. So basically, the 5th state is the green color of the first state, but blinking. The 6th state, as you can see, it's red blinking, the 7th it's yellow blinking, and the 8th of course should be blue blinking. So these are the basics of our states in the indicator control of Smart Editor. Now when using mask signals and state signal names, the only operand that we can use in the relation between the signal value and the mask signal value is equal. So basically we can say this: when the value of set.2 equals 1, we're gonna go in state 1. But maybe we will want to use other operands. For example, maybe you would like your control to get in the second state when the signal's value is bigger than a certain constant. So let's see how we can do this. I'm going to close our visualization and minimize the test center and delete everything that we have already placed in our properties. Now that we're back to blank, I'm going to show you how to use more complex operands. This means using the condition signals. So let's click on the button and see what happens. We're going to add a condition signal and we're going to name it, let's just say con1, and I'm going to use the same signal name set.2 because I like it. So we define our condition signals right over here in the edit items window, and we will use it in the condition rule. With these condition signals, we're going to create a rule that will activate our first state for our control. So let's just say con1, which is the name of our condition, should be bigger than 5. Well, this setup should allow us to place our control in the first state, because we're using the condition rule number 1, when our signal has a value bigger than 5. And I say when our signal because we already defined our condition con1 with the signal name set.2. So basically when set.2's value will be bigger than 5, our control will get into the first state. And let's test this. Okay, so I'm going to bring up the test center and see what happens. So we have the value 0 and we have no states on our control. I'm going to try 4. And as you can see, we have no states. I'm going to try 5 now. And you'll see that no states will be applied on our control, and that's because the condition should be bigger than 5, not bigger or equal with 5. So if we make our signal value 6, you're going to see our control is in the first state because the value of our signal is bigger than 5. Now, to make this even more complicated, I'm gonna start building some condition rules over here, and I'm gonna say this. I want the second state to be applied when our signal value is lower than 2. So I'm gonna write con1 lower than 2. And I wanna apply this third state when our signal value is equal to 2, so we can do that too. Just like this. And I want my control to go into the fourth state when the signal name is bigger than 8. And let's test this and see how it works. So our value is 0, and you can see the second state has been applied because the signal value is below 2. And we're gonna test with 1. And we're going to test with 2. And you can see when our value is equal with 2, our third state will be active because our condition rule 3 will be met. Let's see what happens when we go over 5. Clearly the first state has been applied because the condition rule 1 is met. And if we go over 8, you're going to see the fourth state being applied. Back on our control, we have one thing to talk about, and this is the binary mask. The binary mask allows us to monitor a certain bit from the signal's value, which is interpreted in the binary system, and see if the value of that bit is 0 or 1. If the value of the monitored bit is 1, the state corresponding to the mask, in our case state 1, because here I'm gonna have the mask 1, will be active. And if the value of the monitored bit is 0, the state will not be active. I'm gonna place here the same signal we used before and see what happens. For example, if we select our signal and set the mask signal to 1, like I did over here, the control will enter state 1 when the first bit of the binary interpretation of the signal's value is 1. Well, this actually means that if our signal value will be an uneven number, the state will be applied, because we all know that even numbers have the last bit 0 and uneven numbers have the last bit 1. So our control will enter state 1 when the signal value will be an uneven number. Let's test this and see how it works. Great. So you can see no state has been applied because our value is 0, which is an uneven number. So if we put the value 1, which is the first uneven number, you can see the state has been applied. If we go on and put the value 2, which is an even number, the state is not applied. And this can go on forever with each even or uneven number. Now let's see another scenario in which our binary mask could be useful. Let's say we put our binary mask to 2. What this means is that the second bit from the signal value will be monitored. And let's see how this works. Now, you can see right from the beginning the state has been applied because our signal value is 3, and the second bit of the number 3 transformed in the binary system is 1. The same will happen if we put 2, because its second bit is 1 also. But if we put 4, the second bit is 0, and in this case the state, as you can see, is not applied. And this can again go on and on, like you see here. For the value 6 transformed in the binary system, it has the second bit 1. Well, this is all for today. I'll see you next time when I'm gonna show you more great features of WEBfactory Smart Editor.